everybody here this morning. Welcome to the Charleston Gaillard Center. I'm Sterling DeVries, the Director of Education, and our favorite days are when you guys are here. So thank you so much for joining us. We have a great treat in store for you today. When the show is over, if you'll remain seated, we're going to call you by bus. And if you'll put your phones away, please. No photos and no video. At this time, I am thrilled to introduce Charlton, Singleton, and friends.
Here we go. Here we go. And a one, a two, Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So now, jazz. Jazz. Jazz is a very unique American art form of music. And when you talk about jazz, there's one thing that jazz musicians do that is very essential to the music. They improvise. Everybody say improvise. And when you improvise, you basically make it up. So when we play jazz songs, there's someone that writes the song, and whoever's going to perform the song is going to play it just like that person wrote it, but they are now going to add something along to go with whatever that composer did, whatever that composer wrote. I'll give you an example. First, I'll give you an example using like a little short story. I had a student one time that told me that they thought when you improvise that you just add more details, which is really, really a good way of describing it. So when we add details, we tell the story, but every time we keep telling the story over and over, we add more details. Listen very carefully. Short story. Give you an example. Here's the story. After school, I went home. I got a snack. I did my homework. I watched TV. We ate dinner. I went to bed. Everybody got that? I'm going to tell the same story again. After school, I rode the bus home. I got home. I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I did some math homework. I watched TV. We had spaghetti for dinner. I took a bath. I went to bed. Same story, right? Let's tell it again. After school, I rode the bus home, talked with my friends about how we went to this great concert at the Gaillard Center. I got home. I made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I used grape jelly this time instead of the strawberry jelly. And Skippy smooth peanut butter. I did my math homework. I did a little reading homework. I love my English teacher. Gosh, yes. And then we had SpaghettiOs. I put a lot of Parmesan on it. And then I took a bubble bath, and then I went to bed. Now, every time I've told the story, I've added something else to it, correct? Fabulous. Now, here's how we do this with music and in jazz, okay? I'm going to play a short example of something that I know everybody in here knows. I'm going to play it the first time the way it was written, and then I'm going to play it again, and I'm going to add something to it. And then I'm going to keep playing it again and adding something to it. And this is what we mean by improvisation. Let's do it again. Shh. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. So every time you retell, tell the story musically, you add a little bit of your personality. You make it up. Whatever is happening at that particular moment. If you were playing and you were feeling a little blue, same song, just a different feeling. And that's what we mean by improvisation. Now, in jazz, you have a lot of different styles. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to give you a demonstration of some of those styles of music, okay? One of the first forms of jazz is called Dixieland jazz. And in Dixieland jazz, you usually had these small little bands that would play, and they would do like little parades. Count these instruments with me. You had a trumpet player. 1, trombone, clarinet, sousaphone, bass drummer, snare drummer, cymbal player. 7 people. And they would provide music, usually in parades. Sometimes they would play in indoor establishments and things like that. Now notice, I did not say this instrument right here. Why? Exactly. You can't push a piano down the street. So what piano players did was they invented a style of jazz called ragtime. Everybody say ragtime. And ragtime is solo piano. Ragtime, the piano player will play the bass and the accompanying chord in this hand while playing the melody in this hand. It's actually pretty cool. And today on piano we have Chantal, and she is going to demonstrate a little bit of ragtime for us. Shh. Thank you. Now, one other thing before we get to some other playing. Now, a lot of people will tell you, and this is true, that probably the birthplace of jazz, who can tell me if they know what the birthplace of jazz is? Shh. Oh, I like that. She said Charleston. That's interesting. Not Harlem. Somebody else had said it over here. New Orleans. New Orleans is one of the places that we refer to as being a cradle of jazz. And when we say cradle of jazz, we mean that there was a lot of different musicians doing a lot of the same things. So in New Orleans, which is our sister city, Charleston, Savannah, a lot of places in the southeast part of the United States, you had this type of music that was coming up. And it was very exciting, and everybody wanted to hear all of these different parts of it. Now, after we got from Dixieland, and the music changed some years over, and ragtime music, and the music changed quite a bit, and then we got to another style of music. We call it swing. And in swing, you had these larger sort of big bands. And in these big bands, you had groups like Duke Ellington. Round of applause if you've ever heard of Duke Ellington. Thank you. Duke Ellington was one of the greatest composers of all times. Someone said that Duke Ellington wrote over 2,000 different songs. Let me put that into perspective for you. How many of you all have ever written a letter like Dear So-and-so to somebody? Hands down. Let's say that you wrote a letter and it was about 2 pages long. A good long letter to somebody. Now let's say that you wrote 2,000 letters and they were all different. That's a lot of writing. Well, Duke Ellington had a bigger band. Now, how many people were in the band that we had talked about before, that I had you all count? 7. Different band now. Count them with me. Here we go. Alto saxophone. Another alto saxophone. Tenor saxophone. Tenor saxophone. Baritone saxophone. Trumpet. 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 Trombone. 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 Trombone? Piano? Bass? Guitar? Drums? Vocalist? Wow! That's a large band now, isn't it? Shh. And these bands would play in huge ballrooms. Round of applause. How many of you all have heard of the Harlem Renaissance? It's during this time in the Harlem Renaissance that we now start to see some of these bands play. And the music that they play is really, really danceable. Sometimes they're sort of medium fast, sometimes they're, really fast, sometimes they're slow. We're going to play a song right now that's called In a Mellow Tone, and it was written by Duke Ellington. It's a very nice song. We hope you enjoy it. And a 1, 2, Thank you. So, that was part of the swing era, which is sort of in the 30s. And then in the 1940s, you had this new style of jazz that came out called bebop. B-E-B-O-P. Bebop. Everybody say bebop. Bebop. And bebop was different because now, instead of having that large band of like 18 or 19 people, now we go back down in size and we have smaller groups that are quartets or quintets. And it is led by basically three gentlemen. This one gentleman who played piano named Thelonious Monk, another gentleman that played alto saxophone named Charlie Parker, and another gentleman by the name of John Burke's Dizzy Gillespie. And I like talking about Dizzy Gillespie because Dizzy Gillespie is from the state of South Carolina. He is from Cheraw, South Carolina. That's way up there at the top of our state. And the difference between bebop and swing is that bebop is now a lot more fast. It's really exciting. So all of the songs are pretty quick in speed. Give me a little F blues. I'm going to do chorus and a half or so. A chorus of doodle-doo, doodle-doo. I want. Little bit different, correct? Now, like I said, there was Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie, usually the two people that are most known for bebop. And we're going to play a song right now that Mr. Charlie Parker wrote. It's a song entitled Yardbird Suite. Yardbird, it's a compound word, Yardbird Suite. We hope you enjoy it. Now, after bebop, we then had a new style of jazz called cool. Everybody say cool. C-O-O-L, cool. And cool was just like it sounds, just like the word sounds. It was laid back, it was relaxed, it was cool. And one of the leading musicians from this new style of jazz, no, not Mozart. That's good, I like that. Was a gentleman by the name of Miles Davis. How many people have heard of Miles Davis? Round of applause if you've heard of Miles Davis. Great. Miles Davis recorded with his friends a landmark album called Kind of Blue. And in Kind of Blue, it had all of these fantastic songs that became very, very famous. So famous that that album became it's the #1 selling jazz recording of all time. Still to this day, people are still buying Miles Davis's Kind of Blue. And we're going to play a song from that album right now. It's called All Blues. Thank you. So now, what we're going to do now is we're going to play another song from that style. This song is called Whisper Not, okay? And we're going to play an instrumental version of it, and then right after that, we're going to invite a young lady to come out, and she is going to sing the same song. Because a lot of these songs, a lot of times people forget that a lot of these jazz songs actually have words to them. So we're going to play an instrumental version of Whisper Not, and then we're going to have our good friend and talented singer, Heather, come out and sing it. So this is first the instrumental version of Whisper Not. Thank you very much. So now, during this time, there is a young lady that has taken the world by storm with her amazing vocal ability. Her name is Ella Fitzgerald. Round of applause if you've heard of Ella Fitzgerald. And one of Ella Fitzgerald's most famous recordings of all time, probably her first hit record, is a song called A Tisket a Tasket. Has anybody ever heard of that? A tisket a tasket. Yeah, Ella Fitzgerald sang that. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our friend come out, and she's going to sing a few songs that Ella Fitzgerald actually made famous, starting with the vocal version of the song that you just heard. The song is called Whisper Not. So please, with a round of applause, welcome to the stage, Heather Rice.
You ready?
Sing low, sing clear, sweet words in my ear, not a whisper of despair, but love's own prayer. Sing on until you bring back the thrill of a sentimental tune that died too soon. Our harmony was lost, but you forgave. I forgot. Whisper not of quarrels past. You know we've had our last, so now you'll be on key constantly. Love will whisper on eternally. Not a whisper of despair, but sweet tender love's own prayer, own prayer. Oh, not a sentimental tune that died long ago. Too soon, too soon. Why did they listen when they said it wouldn't last? Gossiping voices made us break up, but you know we still can make up if we forget them all and answer Cupid's call. Whispers of trouble are an echo of the past. All it would take to lose my groove is just a whisper, not of rumors, but of your love for me, and that's how it's got to be. So now we'll be on key constantly. Love will whisper on eternally. Oh, sing low, sing clear, sweet words in my ear, not a whisper on eternally. You are gorgeous, you crowd.
Isn't that nice?
Beautiful people.
You see how that looks out there?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Look how beautiful you are. Hi.
So this next song is one that Ella recorded with Duke Ellington. She was such a dynamic singer, and there were so many groups that wanted to do recordings with her. And so she did this with Duke Ellington, and this is entitled Just Squeeze Me. One, two, and 1, 2, 3, and.
treat me sweet and gentle when we say goodnight. Just squeeze me, but please don't tease me. I get sentimental when you hold me tight. Just squeeze me, but please don't tease me. Missing you since you went away, singing the blues most every day, counting the nights and waiting for you. I'm in the mood to let you know I never knew I loved you so. Please say you love me too. When I get this feeling, I'm in ecstasy. Just squeeze me, but please don't tease me. Treat me sweet and gentle when we say goodnight. Just squeeze me, but please don't tease me. I get sentimental when you hold me tight. Just squeeze me, but please don't tease me. I'm missing you since you went away, singing the blues most every day, counting the nights and waiting for you. I'm in the mood to let you know I never knew I loved you so. Please say you love me too. When I get this feeling, I'm in ecstasy. Just squeeze me, but please don't tease me. Oh, squeeze me, but please don't tease me.
Wasn't that nice? All right. So we're going to do another song that Ella did. This is called Moonlight on the Ganges that she's going to sing.
Got your snappers ready? Snappers?
Snappers.
Good job.
Here we go. Two.
Moonlight on the Ganges, my little Hindu. When I whisper love's sweet melody, all my dreams and my schemes came true. Someday the silent shore.
And then you'll have you do a couple choruses. So one last thing about Ella Fitzgerald that's really, really important. Ella Fitzgerald was also known for her amazing ability to scat. S-C-A-T, scat. Now, round of applause. How many people have heard of that word before, scat? Good. So when you scat, you are, as a vocalist, you are, creating words and sounds and improvising while the rest of the rhythm section is playing, of course. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to play a little bit, and we're going to have Heather scat some for you. All right?
Does anybody, just in the front row here, can you guys give me some syllables for scatting that you can think of? Shout them out. Ben? I like Ben. What is it? Call? Ben call? Okay, what else? Well, I heard chocolate, so we got Ben, eel, chocolate. Okay, cool. Let's see what I can do.
All right, I'll play something up front. 1, 2, You all keep a round of applause going for Heather Rice, everyone. This is Heather Rice.
Thank you guys so much. It was such an honor to sing for you. You're amazing.
So now, in today's jazz music, you have a lot of people that are still doing a lot of those styles that we talked about, but contemporary jazz or jazz of today sounds a lot different. It's a lot more groove oriented. It has a lot of backbeat into it. And some of the amazing performers are people like trumpeter Cindy Bradley or Regina Carter, who's a really fine violinist. Esperanza Spalding, who's this fantastic bass player. She's won multiple Grammy Awards. And so a lot of the songs that you might hear from a contemporary jazz artist today are actually songs that some people say that they sound more like pop music, but they're instrumental or rhythm and blues music. And so our last song of the day is going to be a song that was written by a band, and the name of this song is called Pick Up the Pieces. And I know maybe a few of you have heard it. Maybe some of your teachers may have heard it, but we're going to do Pick Up the Pieces. But before I do that, I just want to introduce everyone. Over here on the baritone sax, we have Jonathan Cameron. On the alto saxophone, we have Kevin Patton. On the tenor saxophone, we have Mark Sturbank. On trumpet in the back, we have the fabulous man himself, Mr. Chuck Dalton. On trumpet, we have David Carter. Trombone, Gavin Smith. On drums, we have Ron Wiltrout. On bass, we have Brett Bellinger. On guitar, James Slater. On piano, Chantal Gagné. Thank you all very much. We really appreciate you coming to the Gaillard Center for this wonderful assembly and presentation about the music. We hope that the teachers, that you will follow up with all of the things that we've discussed and everything with Sterling and Stephanie, all of the materials and everything. And we hope to see you at other events here at the Gaillard Center. Once again, this is Pick Up the Pieces. 1, 2, 3, and... Thank you all so very much. Thank you. All right, now.